Welcome back to our channel. Time to delve into the latest headline from the Daily Mail, featuring none other than Thomas Markle. Once again, the father of Meghan Sussex, Thomas Markle, has found himself in the limelight, sharing intimate details about his daughter's love life before she met Prince Harry. The Daily Mail has dedicated a significant portion of their royal section to showcase these revelations. They've even gone so far as to splash Meghan's image across their pages, promising to reveal the nitty-gritty of her past relationships. This isn't the first time we've seen such a headline, is it? Thomas Markle has a history of running to the press with stories about Meghan. It's become a recurring theme that seems to show no signs of stopping. Every so often, a new revelation, a new headline, a new frenzy. It's like a carousel that keeps spinning, and we're all forced to ride along. But let's pause for a moment and consider the implications of this. What is the role of a father? Traditionally, a father is a protector, a provider, a pillar of support. But when we look at Thomas Markle's actions, we see a different pattern emerging. Instead of safeguarding his daughter's privacy, he seems to be actively compromising it. Instead of shielding Meghan from the media's intrusive gaze, he appears to be inviting it. Now, I'm not here to judge. Every family has its dynamics, its complexities. But when personal stories are repeatedly handed over to the press, when a daughter's private life becomes fodder for public consumption, it's hard not to question the motives behind such actions. Are these revelations a heartfelt attempt to share a father's perspective, or are they a calculated move to court publicity? Is Thomas Markle trying to connect with his daughter through the media, or is he simply capitalizing on her royal status? A father's role is often to protect, but Thomas Markle seems more interested in publicity. Let's hope that in the future, he chooses his daughter's well-being over the allure of the headlines. After all, everyone deserves a bit of privacy, don't they? Especially when they're already living under the royal spotlight. Let's not forget the person at the centre of these stories, Meghan Sussex. The Duchess of Sussex, who has already been under the relentless glare of the media spotlight, is now faced with an additional challenge. This isn't just about a father and daughter's strained relationship playing out in public view. This is about a woman's life being dissected and discussed without her consent. The impact of Thomas Markle's actions on Meghan are far-reaching. Each time he shares a tidbit about her past or offers an unsolicited opinion, he inadvertently invites more scrutiny into her life. His actions have made her a constant target for the tabloids, who are all too eager to exploit the situation for their own gains. This has resulted in Meghan having to face an onslaught of media attention that often borders on harassment. But it's not just the media. The public, too, has been quick to judge Meghan based on what they read and hear. Every story, every headline, every soundbite from Thomas Markle adds fuel to the fire and keeps Meghan in a perpetual cycle of controversy. This has undoubtedly taken a toll on her mental and emotional well-being. However, the consequences of these actions extend beyond Meghan. Each time Thomas Markle goes to the press, he chips away at his own credibility. His actions have painted him as someone who is willing to exploit his own daughter for attention, rather than a father who is genuinely concerned for her welfare. It's important to remember that Meghan is more than just a royal. She's a woman, a wife, a mother, and she deserves the same respect and privacy as anyone else. The constant tabloid fodder doesn't just affect Meghan, but also reflects poorly on Thomas himself. One must wonder, is the fleeting attention worth the permanent damage to his relationship with his daughter? Critics argue that Thomas Markle has transitioned from concerned parent to opportunist. This is a transition that has been marked with confusion, frustration, and a growing sense of disappointment from those who have been following this saga unfold. It's one thing to voice concerns about a loved one's life choices, but it's quite another to constantly air those concerns in the public domain, effectively turning private family matters into tabloid fodder. It's a trend that has seen Thomas Markle face a wave of criticism, accused of exploiting his daughter's royal connections for personal gain. The timing of his media appearances often coincide with Meghan's attempts to move forward, whether it's launching a new initiative or speaking out about her experiences. It's as though every time Meghan tries to take a step forward, her father's actions force her to take 2 steps back. This constant intrusion into Meghan's life does more than just tarnish her reputation. It also casts a shadow over her efforts to carve out a new, independent path for herself and her family. Her father's actions have become a constant source of distraction, pulling focus away from her work and onto her personal life. This has led some to question if Thomas Markle has crossed the line, turning from concerned father to opportunist. His actions are viewed as an attempt to leverage his familial connection to the royal family for personal gain, rather than genuine concern for his daughter's well-being. His public discussions about Meghan's personal life have been seen as intrusive and disrespectful, causing some to question his motives. Is he genuinely concerned about his daughter, or is he simply using her fame as a platform to keep himself in the public eye? Every time Meghan takes a step forward, it seems Thomas finds a way to pull her back into the headlines. It's a cycle that has left many wondering. At what point does concern become exploitation? And has Thomas Markle already crossed that line? It's a question that only he can answer. But one thing is clear. The court of public opinion is watching. Despite the ongoing drama, one thing remains clear. Meghan Sussex deserves respect, peace and privacy. The repeated invasions into her personal life, led largely by her own father, have been nothing short of a spectacle. However, this is not a Hollywood movie or a tabloid soap opera, but the real life of a woman who has had to navigate the harsh spotlight of fame since her marriage into the British royal family. Meghan's story is not one of scandal or intrigue, but of a woman striving to live her life on her own terms, while being constantly hounded by the media and her own family. She deserves the chance to live her life without the constant scrutiny and judgment that seems to follow her at every turn. She deserves to be able to express herself, to share her narrative authentically, without it being twisted and manipulated by those who seek to profit from her name. In light of all this, one might ask, what does a loving father do? A loving father protects. A loving father respects his child's autonomy and privacy. A loving father does not exploit his child's vulnerabilities for his own benefit. If Thomas truly cared for Meghan, he would understand this. He would see the harm his actions are causing and choose to step back. It's time for Meghan to be allowed the basic human dignity of privacy. It's time for her to be allowed to live her life without the fear of her private moments being splashed across tabloid headlines. It's time for her to be treated with the respect and decency that she deserves. So if Thomas really cared for Meghan, he would stop running to the tabloids and start respecting her boundaries. He would allow Meghan the space she needs to heal and grow, to be a mother, a wife, and a woman in her own right, free from the shackles of unwanted public scrutiny. If Thomas really cared for Meghan, he would grant her the respect, peace, and privacy she so rightfully deserves. Now, we turn the discussion over to you. This is a situation that has certainly sparked a lot of conversation. We've seen Thomas Markle's actions play out in the public eye, and we've discussed the impact they've had on Meghan Sussex. Is it fair for him to share these personal stories? Or is he crossing a line by exploiting his daughter's private life for his own gain? Are we witnessing a concerned father trying to connect with his daughter in the only way he knows how? Or perhaps we're seeing an opportunist, capitalizing on his daughter's fame and using it to keep himself in the spotlight. The question is, where do we draw the line between a parent's concern and blatant opportunism? The narrative is not just about Thomas Markle and Meghan Sussex. It's about respect, privacy, and the boundaries we should all observe. Meghan Sussex, like anyone else, deserves to have her personal life remain personal. She deserves to be able to move forward without having to constantly look over her shoulder, wondering when the next headline will hit. However, this is just one perspective. We are all entitled to our own views and interpretations of the events that unfold around us. So, what's yours? Do you think Thomas Markle has crossed a line, or do you believe he's just trying to stay relevant in the media? How do you think this ongoing situation is affecting Meghan Sussex? And what would you like to see happen moving forward? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you think there's more to this story than meets the eye? Or is it as simple as a father overstepping his boundaries? Is Thomas Markle going too far, or is this just another attempt to stay relevant in the media? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.